This episode is sponsored by Skillshare. The first 500 of my subscribers who click the link below get 2 months of Skillshare absolutely free. There are certain plays or play calls that define a team, franchise, a legacy, or even an entire generation. And those specific moments create memories and emotions that last a lifetime. Backups become legends, Pro Bowlers become Hall of Famers, and a few seconds in time will be remembered for decades. The Super Bowl is the perfect stage for these immortalized play calls. Philly Special, Black 59 Razor are a few that have defined the pinnacle of each team's championship run. In Super Bowl 54, we experienced another one of those moments in the fourth quarter. Down 2010, the Chiefs, and really Patrick Mahomes, called Chip Wasp to convert a 3rd and 15 and kickstart their epic comeback. This was the perfect play call in this situation, but that doesn't mean Chip Wasp works against every coverage or every team. The Chiefs studied the 49ers' tendencies both in-game and throughout the season, and during the Super Bowl, set up the defense with similar concepts. Let's take a look at the play, the defensive coverage, why that coverage was called, and why the play call was so damn good. The biggest key to this episode and success of this play is the Chiefs' usage of 3-by-1 formations. They love to line up 3 receivers on one side of the field because of how versatile they can be out of this alignment. The tight end Travis Kelsey runs a deep cross, which the Chiefs call a funnel route. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill runs the Wasp route, which is very similar to a post corner. He runs directly at the safety like he's running a post, then at 22 yards, he cuts back to the corner, while the other wide receiver Sammy Watkins runs a dig route. The jet chip part of the call tells the offensive line how to protect and tells the running back and second tight end to chip the defensive ends, then release to the flats. Because the Chiefs can do so many things out of this alignment, defenses have to provide answers or they'll be seeing these 3-by-1 formations all day long. The number one thing that chills defensive coordinators to the bone is what every Madden player uses when they play with Patrick Mahomes: 4 verticals. The real-life Chiefs will often send 3 verticals on the same side to stress the deep coverage. If the defense is playing a 3-deep cover 3 zone, which they are here, this safety will be caught guarding 2 receivers deep. The 49ers answer is called Cover 6 Buzz, which is a form of Cover 3 zone, but instead of the strong safety, the safety towards the strength of the offense with more receivers, the weak safety away from the strength will rotate towards those 3. If they are running that 3 vertical concept, this allows that weak safety to take one of those verticals, the strong safety to take the second, and the cornerback to take the third. You must have an answer for all these vertical routes, or the top of your coverage will get blown clean off. We can look at the Chargers-Chiefs matchup in Week 17 as an example of how dangerous this concept can be. Just so we're all on the same page, defenses assign numbers to each receiver counting from the outside in. So in the Chiefs' 3-by-1 alignment, Mecole Hardman is number 1, Sammy Watkins 2, and Tyreek Hill 3. When Hill is positioned at 3, this creates massive problems for defenses who play a lot of zone coverage, because the 3 receiver is often matched up with an unfortunate linebacker like Drew Tranquill. The Chargers are playing a quarter-half zone defense, with 2 defenders covering deep quarters of the field and this safety covering an entire half. This only leaves 2 deep defenders to the side with the Chiefs' 3 verticals, so that means Tranquill is to cover Hill deep, which is kinda like asking Darren Ravel to outrun Usain Bolt. Every coverage, first and foremost, needs an answer for this all-vertical concept, but it's not the only reason the Chiefs are effective out of this alignment. When you have a counter, well, they counter right back. In the first Titans-Chiefs matchup back in Week 10, the Chiefs showed that very versatility within this formation. They'll rotate all of their receivers at 3, whether it be Hill, Kelsey, Watkins, Hardman, anybody. When defenses get all geared up for that verticals concept, the Chiefs will take their 3 receiver and call a search route, which is an option route based on the defensive coverage. If it's man coverage, Kelsey, who is the 3 receiver here, runs a 14 to 16 yard post which breaks back inside, then away from from the man defender. If it's zone coverage, like the Titans have called, he runs a 12 to 14 yard deep hook and pivots to open space. This can be deadly against a defense worried about the deep verticals, and if given enough time, the search route can get open against any type of coverage. The Titans are one of my favorite defenses to watch. They are excellent at disguising their coverages and rolling safeties at the snap. They're in a Tampa 2 zone defense where pre-snap, it kind of looks like cover one man with a potential 7-man pressure. But as the play starts, 2 safeties drop to deep halves, the Tampa 2 defender drops to the deep hole, linebacker Wesley Woodyard drops in zone while relating to Hill, and a second linebacker Rashaan Evans comes all the way across the field to cover Kelsey. Since this is a zone defense, Evans matches Kelsey's route, but still keeps his eyes on Mahomes, so Kelsey's route converts to the deep hook. He runs 14 yards and pivots back inside. What's really crazy, and you can see it from the end zone angle, is the chemistry between Mahomes and Kelsey. Since there are 7 potential blitzers, right at the snap, Mahomes checks to see how many of them are actually coming. He sees the corner drop into zone coverage, so he immediately flicks his eyes to Kelsey, who's running to his landmark. But watch how him and Mahomes make eye contact. At this moment, they both know exactly what's happening. Zone coverage, 14-yard pivot inside. Got it. Evans is watching Kelsey while also keeping zone eyes on Mahomes. With Evans' back turned to Kelsey, that pivot is incredibly difficult to defend. Of course, it's not like the Chiefs are the only team that use a ton of 3-by-1 formations. The Vikings and Packers are 2 examples that rely heavily on this alignment and try and run similar concepts like the Chiefs. Every single team has ways they defend certain formations, and like we've talked about earlier, the 49ers' go-to coverage is cover 6 buzz with that weak safety away from the 3 receiver strength, who will rotate back inside. In the NFC Championship game, they showed this tendency over and over again. The safety Jimmy Ward eyes number 3, the other safety Jaquiski Tartt eyes number 2, and cornerback Richard Sherman eyes number 1. If you have a speedy receiver at 3 like Tyreek Hill, cover 6 buzz is helpful because that safety has eyes on the receiver the entire time and has a huge cushion to figure out what he's doing. It's not asking a linebacker to run with him and get smoked over the top. This coverage worked well all game against the Packers, but it gave the Chiefs the message loud and clear. This is how the 49ers would defend their favorite formation. After the confetti fell and champagne was sprayed, Chiefs quarterback coach Mike Kafka explained how they'd set up jet Chip Wasp earlier in the first quarter. Here's how they did it. Sammy Watkins is lined up at 3, Tyreek Hill at 2, and Demarcus Robinson 1. The Chiefs used that vertical concept to strike fear in the 49ers and set Jimmy Ward up for the fourth quarter play. The defense calls a similar coverage to 6 buzz, not exactly the same, but they still have the weak safety Tartt accounting for the number 3 receiver. This puts Ward over Hill and Richard Sherman over Robinson. The keys to great play calling are film study, identifying tendencies, and setting up defenders. The Chiefs knew based on these 3 factors that jet Chip Wasp would very likely work in the biggest moment of their lives. So now that we know all this, let's go back to 3rd and 15, 7:13 left in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs are losing 20-10, and based off the 49ers' tendencies both in season and in the game, and the Chiefs having already set up jet Chip Wasp, there wasn't too much the defense could do to stop it. When playing cover 6 buzz, Ward, who's the deep safety, has to rotate towards the middle of the field to take away the middle third. So when the play starts, Tartt rotates inside and Ward rotates away from where Hill's route ends up. At this point right here, this looks like all verticals to the defense. Hill is screaming towards the middle of the field and threatening to cross Ward's face. Emmanuel Moseley has received a ton of blame for not covering deep, but it's just not his fault. His job is to read 1 and 2. When Watkins begins to break inside on the dig, Moseley checks Hill, who is running away from him, so he squeezes number 1. If Hill was angling towards the corner instead of towards the post, then Moseley would have fallen back and bottled him up. Hill is running so fast, he gets Ward to flip his hips away from the corner and breaks back outside to create a franchise-changing moment. Mahomes drops back 14 yards and throws the ball 57 in the air. Though this was the perfect play call against the 49ers defense, you still need an alien quarterback who can throw that far off his back foot, a stupid fast 4-2 receiver who can quickly run a route that takes that long to develop, incredible protection, and just a little bit of luck. But that's mostly what these special, legendary plays are made of. These are perfect storms that happen in a split second, but last a lifetime. Maybe it's a miracle that nobody can really explain, or the catch that becomes, well, just exactly that. The Chiefs put in the work, the film study, the defensive manipulation, and impeccable execution to create an iconic play that we will always remember. I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this episode. I signed up for Skillshare because I like to actually use the products that are nice enough to sponsor me, and Skillshare legitimately blew me away. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers classes that actually help you. There is so much to explore on here, real projects to create, and the support of all your classmates helping you learn. I myself have ADHD and started signing up for a bunch of very different classes very quickly, like daily fantasy football lineup optimization, photo manipulation with Adobe Photoshop, and a productivity masterclass that, believe it or not, helped with my ADHD. In only 48 minutes, I learned 5 different exercises that made organizing my thoughts easier and instantly helped me become more productive. The first 500 of my subscribers to click the link in the description box below will get 2 free months of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. Skillshare is also incredibly affordable, especially when compared to pricey in-person classes and workshops. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month, so if you want to start learning, click the link in the description box below, and if you do it fast enough and you're a subscriber, you'll get those first 2 months free. Alright, thanks for listening to the end. Until next Saturday, see ya!